Hello, how to detect uh, larpers in stone slash rock communities, rock collecting communities. Well, one of the big ways to tell is not necessarily if they can or can't name every single rock that's ever existed. Like, that's kind of impossible, but that's not what I mean. What I mean is, like, do they not understand certain types of rocks, certain types of deadly rocks, like lead or asbestos, that kind of thing. And there are just some people who just don't understand, who just don't fucking understand, like they think, oh yeah, I'm super invincible or whatever. No, the fuck you're not, okay? And then another one to detect a LARP in particular. Well, that one's more of ignorance than it is a LARP, but, a lot of LARPers tend to do that. But anyway, another one is that they buy their rocks, They often just buy them. And it's a LARP because, basically you're not really learning from rock collecting, because the whole point of rock collecting is, going out and collecting rocks, Even if that means like artificial rocks or like, you're just going out into your neighborhood, your, local neighborhood. I don't know what else to tell you, but if you're buying rocks from people, that's most likely a LARP. With the exception of a few things here and there, because obviously there's a business part of it. There's a business part of rock dealing and stuff like that. I get it. But, like, there are some people who collect way too many fucking rocks, okay? Instead of just collecting rocks that they actually like, they'll just collect all that shit. They'll just collect all of it and just assume that that makes them a rock collector instantly. No. Only grab rocks that you can grab, and not just know, but actually want to grab, Like, you can physically hold it, you can physically grab it, and stuff like that, generally speaking. And also, a rock that, that you actually want to take home to your shelter or whatever. And another thing is like, there are people who just want to say that they're rock collectors rather than they actually are rock collectors because it sounds like something, Cool. But it does often get confused with like the music genre and stuff like that in this territory, Like if you want to collect stuff like that, like rock music, fine. But, you know, uh, there are a lot of people who are just like, they just want it as an excuse to basically say, hey, your hobby is inferior. So we're gonna make this all about this music that you've only heard since like 1998. Okay? So we're gonna take you over there and you're gonna listen to this, in the jar head, in the Pearl Jam bullshit. Like, okay, I know you like that music and all. So do I. But that has pretty much nothing to do with rock collecting, you know what I mean? Like, it's so stupid, you know? But hey, you know, it can get good. But unfortunately, there are a lot of people in the rock collecting community, or rock collecting communities, at least online anyway, that are not the best of individuals, if you know what I mean. Like, there's a lot of them that are just like, they are just on your ass, Like, they get mad about shit, because, oh, this one rock collector from Australia found something in Australia. Ooh, shocker. Water found in ocean. But it's like, seriously, it gets crazy. Don't get me wrong, not all collectors, rock or stone collectors, are bad people. Okay? But when it comes to things like jewelry, yeah, no, you shouldn't be making it out of, like, your rocks or stones out of jewelry, like, make jewelry out of it, because that's also kind of a LARP, because it's a separate thing, you know. It's in a lot of rock collecting and especially stone collecting communities, it's seen as a LARP because they see that as hobbyless behavior. You know, they see it as very much hobbyless behavior. So it's very hard to, justify that kind of thing. And you might go, but I'm a woman, so I have the privilege to do this or whatever. You know, because it's usually more associated with women than it is men. Here's the thing, even if you're a woman, even if you're a fucking woman, you can't get away with that. You know? Like, you have to realize that rock and stone collecting is a separate thing. Okay? If you want to make jewelry or whatever, fine. But don't call yourself a rock collector. Because they will get on your ass on that. You know? Especially like if you're like me and you actually rock collect. That kind of thing. And it's a lot more free than people like to say it is. You know? It's a lot more easier. But you have to actually know what to collect. That kind of thing. And there are just a lot of people, again, that are just, they getting pissy fit. They getting pissy fit because you didn't know the fucking, you didn't know the fucking, unitite from fucking, what? Unitite from fucking, limestone. Yeah, unitite from fucking limestone. You didn't do your shit. You didn't do your fucking shit. I'm gonna stone you now. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like, you going a little too hard. You know? Did you actually get hit by a rock in the head? Like, what the fuck going on there? You know? But yeah. It's just, there's not a lot of LARPing that goes on in those kind of communities because, you know, you have to actually be into the hobby in order to normally get into something like that. But there are LARPers. There are LARPers. So, you know, dumbasses beware. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for the stone and rock collecting communities. Now, I don't speak for everybody when I made this video, but I'm just saying that as somebody who is a well-respected, well-known rock collector, at least offline. But yeah, if you guys didn't know, I am actually a rock and stone collector. Alright? I am a master at this, okay? I am a level 13. Okay? There's about 100 levels and I'm a level 13, which is actually pretty high, you know. But I am not a beginner, okay? Most people usually don't go past 7, you know? Even if they are a beginner. Even if they are, like, say, hardcore, they've been doing it for decades, you know, the strongest they'll ever usually get. It's usually about a 7 because most people don't usually do rock collecting that much, you know? But yeah, there have been a few people, historically speaking anyway, that have made it to 100 or whatever. But generally speaking, it's usually 1 through 7. 0 means like no rock collecting at all, not interested, nothing like that at all. 100 means like the most biggest rock collecting guy or whatever. But again, I am a level 13, so I am not, new to the game. I am not a rookie in the skin of the game, you know? I am very deep in the lore, if you will, of rock collecting. And then you have a bunch of YouTubers like Michigan Rocks. He's what you call a level 8. He's like a level 7 or a level 8. Well, probably more like a 6 or 7, but he's not like level 13 collector like me, obviously. Despite the fact that he has more fancy equipment or whatever, and fancy editing. But that's just really because he's doing it also as like a YouTube hobby and things like that, so it does get out there. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna end this video because I don't have much else to say either than, yeah, what do you think about the stone and rock collecting communities of the world? And besides, fun fact, it's a very ancient hobby. Okay, it's been going on for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So yeah, I think you get the idea. Rock collecting kind of rocks. Anyway, I'm out of here. Bye.